deep commitment to justice began right within the student movement, where he was a student representative at Gaza University and later served as the president of the General Union of Palestinian Students in the UK. Having earned his PhD from SOAS and served as a professor of public policy, he understands the transformative power of education and student activism firsthand.
The struggle for Palestinian liberation is a defining issue of our time, and we are very privileged to hear from the Ambassador today and to have the opportunity to work together as a movement to amplify Palestinian voices and further this vital mission. Please join me in giving an enormous welcome to His Excellency, Dr. Husam Zomlot.
Hello, good afternoon. What a vibe and energy really here today. And thank you very much, Amira, Sarania, and the leadership team here, Alex and Qasim, for inviting me to address the NUS England. It is such a great honor and privilege to be with you in Coventry, the heart of the Midlands. I was told maybe Birmingham will not like this. And in this very special venue, I still didn't make the connection between all the clocks and the monkeys and Cillian Murphy, but it's a very beautiful venue here today. And I often speak to many audiences, I have to say, but speaking to students is different. It is indeed very special. It is the most strategic engagement for me as a Palestinian ambassador and for anyone seeking change. Because you represent change, my friends. You do represent the future. And you represent everything a free Palestine stands for. Justice, equality, integrity, and hope. From the Vietnam anti-war movement to the South Africa anti-apartheid movement to today's anti-genocide movement for Palestine, for Sudan, for any other nation, you, the students, have always been the beating heart of collective liberation. Historically, throughout the generations, and particularly here in the UK, where the global movement for Palestine started and galvanized the entire world. For 2 years now, Gaza has been in the throes of a genocide. Live streamed, openly enabled by governments, normalized by mainstream media, and profited from by corporations. Many people stayed silent. Many chose to look away. But you did the opposite. Through your incumbents, petitions, marches, and voices, you did just the opposite. You spoke out. You did speak up everywhere. You roared, and we followed in every campus, every university, every college. You did not just speak up, you roared. Even when some tried to punish you for it, to censor you. You were disciplined, blacklisted, doxxed. They thought you were an easy target. But you showed them otherwise. And your presence and your pressure and your campaign worked. It is because of your mobilization alongside the Palestinian people that this UK government has finally begun to correct 108 years of wrongs, of historic injustice, of denial of our people's existence and our right to self-determination, and finally has taken the long overdue step to recognize the State of Palestine. I'm really proud to stand before you here today as the ambassador of the State of Palestine to the United Kingdom. And your work, your movement has also helped that the UK government has actually imposed some sanctions on some Israeli war criminals, have been blacklisted, and also that arms sales to Israel were reduced. Together we changed what once thought to be unchangeable. But my dear friends, although we have accomplished much, there is still much, much more to do. We are not there yet. The journey to freedom is long, but very rewarding. Because our mission is far from complete. The movement you helped build has uncovered truths the oppressors has tried to hide for more than a century. I will repeat, the movement you helped build has uncovered truths the oppressor has tried to hide for a century. Just look at global public opinion today versus few years ago. The tide has shifted irreversibly. Because once people see the truth, they can never unsee it. Once you see the truth, you cannot unsee it. And I know all of you have seen the truth. Once a genocide is done, you cannot undo it. This is what we have done together. The Palestinian people, the British people, and the people around the world. But we cannot lose focus, my friends. We must remain committed. And above all, we must remain unified. And I am aware, Amira and our friends, of your efforts over the last couple of years, over the last few months, working with the government and others to make sure that our students from Gaza, from Palestine, have the right to access British universities, to finish their education. And I am aware of your work to help many of them be evacuated and join their prestigious programs here, because all of them have been awarded very prestigious scholarships. I am also aware of your great work in making sure that these students of ours in such time of trauma are supported. And those are very important. This is very important work of yours. I'm also aware of your work in the accountability side, particularly in making sure we have a full arms embargo. So allow me to thank you today for all the work you have been doing to make sure that we proceed on the right path. But today, we must remember that education, my friends, education is the lifeline of the Palestinian people. It is exactly why we have been able to survive all these years. Amira just mentioned that I was a student here, or Surayna, in the late 90s. I was here at the LSE and in SAWAS. And I was honored and privileged to also be part of the US conferences. This is a comeback to me. At the time I was a student activist and the president of the General Union of the Palestinian Students. And I remember very well that that movement is the backbone of any change. And I believe today we have to absolutely make sure that our strategy moving forward is not just to manage the suffering, but to end the suffering all. We must keep focus on the root cause of all this. And the root cause is occupation, colonization, apartheid, segregation, bigotry, racism, hatred. The root cause of all this is supremacy. Supremacy. The root cause of all this is dehumanization. And let me say this, we are all equal under one God and one law. There is no one of us is chosen. We are all chosen. And therefore, your work to end the root cause of this is absolutely important. And here education is important because it is in our DNA. Every Palestinian knows that our main source of perseverance is education, of steadfastness, of resilience. That's why you will have the highest sort of education statistics in Palestine. One of the highest literacy rates, one of the highest rates for PhD per capita graduates, including the one speaking to you. And by the way, I was born in a refugee camp in Gaza. So the investment the society puts in us is vast because the collective conscience of the Palestinian people and memory now believe in the human capital to rebuild our country and to defend our people. So I would call on you to also help in the rebuilding of our education sector. And as you know, during the genocide in the last 2 years, Israel has literally destroyed, decimated our education sector. 90% of schools have been destroyed, and 100% of our universities bombed. 2 years, and our students have not been able to go back to their classrooms. So we will need your help. We will need your help to make sure not only that our students are received here, educated here, but our students back home are able to continue their education. And we bring back that education sector to where it was, a pride of the Palestinian people. But my friends, we need to be set on the goals ahead. The ceasefire is being violated by Israel on a daily basis. Palestinians are still being killed. Aid is still being withheld. Gaza is being cut in half and reoccupied. Children are denied basic medical treatments and as a result dying in front of their parents of simple infections. The West Bank is burning, literally. The occupied West Bank is burning. Settler terrorism, wreaking havoc everywhere and rocketing in terms of the level and the intensity of attacks. Settler militias rampaging all over the West Bank, in Nablus, in Al Khalil, around Jerusalem, around Ramallah, in every locality. Pogroms, burning houses, homes, ransacking and killing. With full impunity and the full protection of the occupation army. So the genocide is ongoing, my friends, with different tools, different means. And therefore, we must remain focused. Our struggle, our movement is about more than 100 years of subjugation. This isn't just the last 2 years. It's 100 years of subjugation. 100 years of colonization, dispossession, land theft, ethnic cleansing, apartheid, and normalized genocide. And when a genocide is normalized, the pressure for accountability disappears. So we must fight the normalization of genocide, the normalization of murdering 20,000 children, the normalization of bombing hospitals and schools and livelihoods, the normalization of the dehumanization of the human being. We are not numbers, my friends. Every one of our children, every one of our innocent people is a story, is a name, is a dream, has friends and neighbors and aunts and parents. And everyone who his life or her life were taken so early as early as months old, would have been maybe standing before you as an ambassador of his people, or as a doctor, or as an entrepreneur. You know, wherever I go in the UK, I'm so impressed, or even beyond the UK, wherever I go, I find the top doctors to be Palestinians, top entrepreneurs, business community. This is the future that should have been waiting for our people, not being mass murdered. And therefore, my friends, we must keep the pressure. And let me tell you something that you all already know. Without accountability for what has been done, we cannot move forward. Without accountability for what has been done, we cannot move forward. What does accountability mean? It means a full arms embargo. When those weapons are being used to terrorize and kill and maim innocent people. Not half arms embargo, full, comprehensive arms embargo. This is a legal obligation. You cannot be selective or cherry picking. When genocide is being committed, the first legal obligation upon any government or state is to immediately, abruptly stop providing the tools of genocide. It means imposing comprehensive sanctions on the entire system of illegal colonial settlements and the state that harbors them, not just on a few individuals. It means ending illegal trade and investment, banning settlement products, isolating companies and individuals who profit from apartheid and occupation, and ensuring that war criminals face justice. War criminals must be behind bars. This isn't just about justice for the victims. This is about deterrence for the next war criminals, for the next murderers. And not just murderers of our children, but murderers of your children. What happens in Gaza does not stay in Gaza. People are watching, and some are learning. And if they learn the lesson that they can get away with genocide, we are all doomed. We are all doomed. We have no future, my friends, on this earth. So accountability is absolutely important. So this is never again going to happen. And the never again is for all of us, not the few of us. And that's why, my friends, because without accountability, we will never have an equitable, just, and lasting peace. The struggle for Palestine liberation is not only about us, the Palestinians. It is also about you. That is why it has always been a universal cause of all freedom-loving people. The Palestine cause has been a global cause. That's why it inspires the millions around the world. That's why you've seen in London in one day, 1 million breath in the streets. Because every one of them know that this isn't just about Palestine. This is about them. This is about the kind of future they want to see. This is about their own children. This is about protecting the sacred human life. And therefore, my friends, because in fighting for Palestine, you are fighting for everything we hold so dear. This is global Palestine. It is, at its very core, a movement about the fundamental, undeniable, sacred value of every human life. It is not about protecting one race or religion. It is protecting all races and all religions. It is not about one nation first. It is about all of humanity first. This is our movement. This is your movement. This is what you started. It's freedom for all, equality for all. Human life cannot be subjected to grades and scales. if we do not respect this tenet of our shared human values, then we are in the wrong place, my friends. So, the question is, where do we go from here? First and foremost, my friends, the ceasefire must be enforced. The ceasefire must be enforced. The killings and the ethnic cleansing of Palestinians must stop. In Gaza, in the West Bank, in Jerusalem, killings must stop. Land theft must stop. House demolition must stop. Rounding people, arresting people without charge or trial must stop. Everybody was focusing on Israeli hostages being released the last few weeks. We have thousands of Palestinian hostages in Israeli jail. Thousands. Many of them are children, women. Several thousands, 3,800 are held without trial, without charge, rotten in their cells. Those are not prisoners. Please do not call them prisoners, because prisoners suggest they have committed some criminal activities, or prisoners suggest they have gone through a due legal process. They are also hostages and must be released. So that's number one principle. Number two is Gaza's territorial integrity, that the Israeli occupation forces must withdraw from the entire Gaza, and that Gaza is not reoccupied. We will not accept a reoccupation of Gaza. And we will not trade one occupier for the other. And we must respect that Gaza is an integral part of the State of Palestine. The unity between Gaza and the West Bank. The unity of our people and political system. Our guiding principles are clear. Gaza and the West Bank are inseparable parts of one Palestine. One Palestine. Gaza and the West Bank are inseparable parts of one Palestine, with Jerusalem as our ancient and eternal capital. Palestine will only ever be governed by Palestinians. We will govern ourselves, my friend. Is that very difficult of a principle? And only the Palestinian people will elect our leaders. No one else. Third, we need you to continue to be ambassadors for justice. I want you to compete with me and be true ambassadors for justice. The narrative will start shifting now. While on the ground, the brutality and the brutal reality remains the same. Paid agents and influencers will try to whitewash the genocide and try to tell a different story. We cannot let them, my friends. We cannot let them. We must stick to our core message. Enforce the ceasefire and end the genocide. Enforce international law equally. Let aid end. Sanction the ecosystem of apartheid and occupation, and hold war criminals accountable. Let the world know, my friends, we will not stop until Palestine is free. This isn't just about this part. We will not stop our struggle until Palestine is free, because until Palestine is free, no one is free. No one is free. Because Martin Luther King said that injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. Because Nelson Mandela said the freedom of South Africa is incomplete without the freedom of Palestine. This is the universality of causes. This is the concept that if any human being is oppressed, all of us are oppressed. And when one of us is free, all of us are free. So I will conclude, my friends, by saying this. The Palestinian people, particularly the young generation of our people, and I'm very happy you are in touch with our youth and student movement, our leaders of tomorrow, I have a message for them, for my people, the younger generations. You have shown the world the true meaning of dignity, of perseverance and honor. And I must say, our youth, our people have shown the world the real meaning of dignity, perseverance and honor. You have inspired the world to come together with one voice around one mission, a just peace. And a just peace not just for the few, but for all. And the world will continue to stand with you, as we see today in this hall. The world, including the youth movement and the student movement of the world, will continue to stand with you as you build a future where our children will be safe, where our land will flourish, where Palestine will be forever free. Thank you. Thank you.